Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. Today we are going to make something that is delicious and chocolatey. We are going to make chocolate sugar cookies. These are really easy to make and you probably have all of the ingredients in your cupboard. So let's get started. You're first going to need half a cup of butter. You can use margarine if you like. To that, we are going to add half a cup of sugar, just regular sugar. We are going to I'm using my electric beaters, and we're just going to cream that together for a minute. Now we're going to add some other ingredients. I am adding 1 egg. I'm using a duck egg. You, of course, can use whatever egg you happen to have. And I'm going to add what amounts to about a teaspoon of vanilla, just a splash. That teaspoon of vanilla really helps. So let's cream that together. Okay, now we're going to add our last group of ingredients. We are going to add a cup of flour. Just regular all-purpose flour is completely fine. We are going to add a teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. We don't need very much. And then we are going to add about a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. These are chocolate cookies after all. We're going to start with our beaters, then I'll switch to my hands in a minute. All right, ultimately, I always like to get my hands dirty, so I'm just going to come over here and get some dough off of these beaters. I like to get my hands dirty, get my hands right in there, so roll up your sleeves and actually get your hands in that dough. Okay? It will definitely make a difference. This dough is a really pretty light dough because it doesn't have a ton of ingredients, right? Just the very basics. And it's not super sweet. I mean, it's sweet. It's a cookie. Of course, it's sweet. But it's not crazy sweet, right? It's a nice sweet. I'm just going to change my angle here. But it's a very nice sweet. It's not disgustingly sweet. I enjoy these cookies because they're not so sweet that they set your teeth on edge. Okay, that's one thing that bothers me about cookies a lot is sometimes they're just way too sweet. So once you have all of your dough incorporated, so you want to make sure you get all those little bits at the bottom, right? Take your dough, mop up those little bits, and get them really worked into that dough. But don't overwork your cookie dough. If you overwork your cookie doughs, they end up really tough and the texture of your cookie is just not there. So this will still be a mildly sticky dough. So I'm going to take a minute and go wash my hands. Be right back. All right, we're back. Now we need our cookie pan and we're going to preheat our oven to about 325 degrees Fahrenheit. We don't want it too hot. Then I'm using my handy dandy cookie scoop, but I'm using the teaspoon side, not the tablespoon. So you want to drop them by teaspoonfuls. So you can put them in your hand if you like and then shape them, or you can just put them directly on the pan. But you don't need to do any pressing or anything like that. Just take the cookies, drop them straight on the pan. Okay, you don't have to roll them in sugar. You don't have to do anything fancy. We're just doing these little dough balls. They won't rise too much because there's not a ton of baking powder. We're just sticking them on here. And you'll end up with probably about 24 cookies. That's normally what I end up with if I'm doing teaspoons, because these are fairly small. They're nice bite-sized cookies. They're easy to make. They're quite delicious. So I'm going to finish this up. I am going to pop them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes, and then they should be cooked. I usually go with a 12-minute cookie, not a 10-minute cookie, because with this kind of cookie, because this particular cookie is easy to make and quick to bake, but sometimes the center doesn't want to cook, right? So if the center doesn't want to cook all the way, you're going to need those extra 2 minutes. So whether you need those extra 2 minutes, it depends on your oven, really. I tend to need the extra 2 minutes. So again, you can just go, and the dogs are moving around, but you can just go and make them nice, neat little balls if you want, or you can be a little more haphazard. It doesn't really matter that much. You're just cookies that you're going to scarf down. They are that good. So there is our first group of cookies. We're going to bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. Then we are going to whip them out of the oven, let them sit for 2 minutes on the pan, and then we have to remove them to a wire rack. So I'm going to do all of that right now. We'll come back as soon as these come out of the oven. All right, my timer literally just went off. So we're going to whip these out. See, they stay pretty small, and we're going to set a 2-minute timer. Okay, 2-minute timer on the stove. And the reason we're going to do that is these are not fully cooked. They spend 2 minutes cooking. If I scoop them right off, they're just going to collapse. So they need 2 minutes sitting on here. Okay, we're going to leave them for a full 2 minutes. I'm going to time lapse this part because 2 minutes doesn't sound like a long time, but on film, when nothing's happening, it's an eternity. I didn't time lapse. I skipped. It's boring. We're going to get these off of the pan, and we are going to set them to cool, and we will come back. They're not ready to eat yet. Literally, they're still boiling inside. So we are going to let these cool completely, and we will come back when they are all cooled, plated up, and ready to feed the kids, because the kids are going to be starving. They love these cookies. We'll be right back. And there we go. Perfectly cooled, perfectly delicious, absolutely lovely chocolate sugar cookies. Perfectly cooked inside, ready to eat. Those are good. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. I do hope you enjoy chocolate sugar cookies. We'll see you tomorrow.